Hello everybody, welcome back to the next episode of All the Mods 8. If I remember correctly, we were almost finished with the improbable probability device. We had gone through and pretty much made everything we needed to with some of these gas tiers and stuff to make the last part. And I'm pretty sure we can go ahead and actually craft this thing up right now because we do have the extra storage part already made. And all of this stuff here is either stuff we've made before, like the nuke and the recharging units, or it's just been really easy stuff to craft like the pocket computer or the high density power capacitor. So this is all done. We can go ahead and make this, and that actually is a quest that we can go ahead and check off on the creative menu. We get our kind of our little trophy here for that, and we can go ahead and put this where we need to on the star, and that is located right below the Patrick star, just like that. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and put down the trophy, which is the Master of Reality. The next thing that I noticed here is that we were getting relatively close to finishing the, I believe it's the seed, correct? The dimensional seed. All we had left to do was to get the 5x soul sand block and a 6x netherrack block. And then on top of those, we had to get a mini portal, a mini end portal, an exit portal, and a nether portal. Now those 3 portals do require us to get into ElementalCraft, so I've gone ahead and pinned all the remaining pieces to the puzzle that we have left here, which is just 4 pieces. Surprisingly, we only have 4 of these pieces left to do, and here are the 4 right here. The dimensional seed, which we know exactly what we have to get still for this, which isn't going to be too hard, I don't think, but it will require us getting into the new mod, which is ElementalCraft. Now, to get into ElementalCraft, I'm going to have to read up on this a little bit because I'm not super familiar with how the mod works, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of explain it as I figure it out myself. We are going to need some of these inert crystals, which we find by digging underground, as well as the contained crystals, which we basically take one inert crystal, surround it with some gold nuggets, and we can get a contained crystal. The shards that we actually need, like all the elemental shards, we have, I'm pretty sure, a ton of those because we've been getting them from our mob farms. Now we are going to probably follow a quest line here. If I can go down and find ElementalCraft. Perfect. That is our first step here. And it looks like it does take us through the quest on how to go ahead and get the Firelight ingot here. The other one we need, I believe, from ElementalCraft is the Draconic, or all those cores. But those don't appear to be in the quest line specifically, but we know how to make them at least, so that's going to be totally fine. The next step here is to make an impaired element pipe. These are also very easy to make. If we type in impaired element pipe like so, we can go ahead and use some of this contained crystal to make some of these pipes, just like so. And now we have to make a small elemental storage, which involves just some of these pipes, which we just made, and a piece of glass in the middle, which is going to be no problem at all. We have plenty of glass, and then we can go ahead and make a small container. There's a good chance we're going to want more containers depending on how many of the elements we're going to want to hold at once. So we might go ahead and make a few more of these just by making some more of those pipes, just like that. And we have 3 small element containers. So in order to fill these with actual element, we have to either make an element extractor, which we can go ahead and basically extract an element from the world. If we remember correctly, I believe over here, there's an example of this. Right, so here there is a fire element, and I believe this is an earth element. And so we should be able to go ahead, and I figure I might as well do this while I'm here. If we go ahead and put all of this underneath, like so, I think we should be able to extract into a container. So if I go ahead and put a small container down like so, it is showing that it's empty, which is good, but we are going to need an extractor, and that's going to be this one right here. Also very easy to make, and I think this involves getting some of the pipes though. So we have to put this directly below the source with an element container right below it as well. So let's go ahead and try that again. I might have to go up 1 block here, just like so. And then we have to place the extractor right below the source. Oh, and we are filling this up just like so. Perfect. And so it looks like it's showing a little status symbol on the side. We now have a full jar of the fire. So if I just go ahead and grab this, But we can also make our own element containers using those shards. Now we have to use the element evaporator for that, so that's probably going to be something we're going to want to get into as well. If we get to the evaporator, is that going to be something we can do? It is. Perfect. And let's go ahead and try this out with some of the powerful shards. We might have to do this a little bit differently, so let's go ahead and just leave that here for now. I put this down the jar like so, with the container on top. That correct? And then also, oh, there we go. Yeah, we put the powerful shard inside. This does appear to be filling it up, but it looks like it's filling it up a decent bit slower than the one in the world did. But that's okay. I don't need it to be overall like super fast, but it's good to know that we can make our own elements this way. And I assume this can be automated by like extracting these shards right to the evaporator and then having them dump immediately into a container like so. And that'll then create, you know, we can automatically create this stuff, but I'm just kind of learning as we go here. And it looks like we do have a full jar of fire here as well. And it looks like it used up only one of those powerful ones. So it looks like it's pretty efficient actually at how much you get out of one of these shards, which is really cool. I think the next step in this quest line is to get an element infuser. Again, this just uses some more of that material we were making before. So we are going to need quite a bit of this contained crystal here. So these inert crystals are actually very important to have in a good supply of. If I go ahead and make one of these, we are going to get our quest unlocked. So to get the drenched iron ingot, which we I guess need to continue along in this into this mod, we are going to need to get some water element and then putting a iron ingot on top of an infuser, which is on top of an element container full of water. Let's go ahead and put a water charge into here, and now we are getting water element being extracted. If I grab one of these impaired pipes and put it right here, can I pump into this? There we go. So that when that is, you can shift right click, I believe, to kind of disconnect these pipes. But if it's showing this little kind of like greenish yellow knob here, I believe that's now sending all the element from this one into this one like so. So now we can go ahead and keep the infuser on this one and then the extractor in this one right here. So that's awesome. We can have a little tiny setup here where we can do a little bit of automation with just putting in materials into this barrel. It'll send it through its elemental infusion and then come out on the other side. The next step is to use this newfound drenched iron to create element pipe. I believe this is kind of like the impaired pipe, but just a little bit better overall. And that'll take us right into the element binder. We do have some of the drenched iron and the combined crystal. However, we are going to need to infuse some stone to make white rock by using the same kind of system we have here, but we're going to need to use the earth charges. Now, the earth ones were the shards that we had the fewest of. We do have a couple of the powerful shards, and we can combine these up to make more. I'm going to go ahead and just make these for now and hope this will be enough. But I want to go ahead and set up a compact machine for all of our element bindings, because we're going to probably want the fire one, water one, and the air one set up on kind of semi-automated type system. So I think I want to set up all these automations for all of these different elements inside of this compact machine here. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this all sorted. Okay, so I have the same setup going on in here. What I have basically is just the kind of the same premise, but I'm just going to have it so that I can auto export from refined storage right into the evaporators with the correct shard. That way we can go ahead and just set up a system like this for all the different elements, and we can then basically create an import export on the element infuser to automatically infuse the materials that we want. How we're going to basically do that is by using crafters again. So if we come in here and grab ourselves some crafters, let's just grab some gold ones for now, just because. we can basically go ahead and I believe set up a crafter just like so. And then we're going to have to set this to the refined storage wrench, and we'll have it pointed down like this. And then we can just go ahead and hook up the cable like so. Now, I believe this will then send the recipe to this infuser like so. We can then probably go ahead and grab an importer. Just as a proof of concept here, we'll grab one and we will put it on the side like this and hook it into refined storage, and that should be totally fine. Now we are going to have to set the importer slots to only import what we want it to. I actually want to upgrade some of these element containers to the larger versions. What we're going to need for that is some burnt glass and white rock. Those are both done using the element infusion. We can make the burnt glass, I believe, by just putting in one piece of normal glass in the infuser like so. And I don't know if that actually did it, or if that... No, see, that actually... We're going to have to set a blacklist on the on the normal glass for now. And that should then wait until it's burnt glass like it just did right there. Perfect. And we're going to then grab the burnt glass out. And that is fine. We're going to now set this to be a whitelist, only allow the burnt glass through for now. So we're going to have to do the exact same setup for the earth shards. But yeah, this is effectively how we're going to set up all 4 of these. And I'm going to put them right here side by side. So the water, earth, fire, and air, I'm going to set all these up the exact same way, and then I'm going to come back. Okay, and here we have it. We have all of these charges going, and we are filling these element containers. Now, I went ahead and upgraded from these small containers to the normal sized ones. All these require extra are the burnt glass, white rock, and the drenched ingot. Now, all of these are being auto-crafted now via these crafters, and they are just using the required elements to make those materials. So this is actually really easy to set up, very compact, and it should get the job done for now. Next up, we have to craft the element binder, and that is going to be very straightforward. We even have all this on AutoCraft, so all this should be going on right now. It is converting into the required materials. Very good. And that is our element binder. And now we get into the swift alloy ingot. It looks like it uses a medium amount of air essence with an element binder on top of a container to craft this material. What we can do, I think, is take one of these and grab a pipe from here. We want to then pipe out of this container to fill that as well. So we should hopefully have both of these, which is really good. And now we want to put this element binder on top of... Okay, so it does have to go on top of the bigger element containers, which is fine. All the materials should be being made right now. And there we have it. We'll put this down right here, and then we'll just hook this up with a pipe, which will then pipe all of this into here. Now, that means we're going to run out of material into this one right here, but I think we can just kind of transfer them back and forth just for the time being. We have to do gold, drenched iron, copper, and end with the air crystal. So let's go ahead, gold, drenched iron, copper, redstone, and end with the air crystal. And there we go. That is our first swift alloy ingot. I do want to put all of the crystals on AutoCraft. Unfortunately, we are kind of running out of this. I can go ahead and use Fortune 7 on this, and I think this will hopefully give a bunch of the inert crystal to the point where I don't know how much we're going to need extra of it. But if we do need more, we can always go and try and get some through the drills. Okay, so that was 3 stacks almost of the inert crystal, which is really good. Now let's go ahead and get those recipes put in. So we need to go ahead and make the pure infuser. This is what we need to kind of continue on. And so we need to make springaline shard, which is made using a water crystal and a amethyst using the water element. So we're going to have to go ahead and set up another container. Going to be a lot of containers. I should probably put these on AutoCraft, to be honest, because these are quite commonly used. Okay, that is going on. And now we need to get a water crystal out, piece of amethyst, and quartz. Amethyst, then quartz, then the water. Just going to use some of this water up here, and then we should get out the springaline shard. And we just have to do this 3 more times so we get 4 of these, and then they can be used to craft the strongly contained crystal. Perfect. That is done. And now we just need to go down here, get ourselves some of these nuggets. There it is, our strongly contained crystal. This is what we use to now make the pure infuser. To make the pure infuser, we need one more element infuser, which is going to be easy. There it is, the pure infuser. Okay, so realizing how slow this actually was producing elemental essence here, I decided to triple the production. So we're basically just tripling our outputs to hopefully keep up with what we're going to be using. The next thing we have to do, I believe, is set up the infusion setup, the pure infuser, and then the 4 different elemental pedestals to create the pure crystal. Now we're going to have to go ahead and craft all 4 of these different pedestals. So to craft these pedestals, we need 1 of these fine gems per crystal. So we're going to have to go ahead and use this gem crystallization method. The crystallizer itself, I think, is relatively straightforward. We have to do a little bit of crafting of some of the alloy, but that's not too bad. We need 4 total. And then we also need 1 of the strong contained crystals, which again we can make. We just need some more of the spring-aligned shard. So we're going to go ahead and in that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of crafting here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we crafted the gem crystallizer here. And let's go ahead and see if we can make this happen. Now, I'm going to do this probably one at a time. Now, to make the gem crystallizer work, we have to go ahead and, I believe, put on a diamond and a powerful shard, and then the air crystal. Diamond has to go in the middle, air crystal has to go on top like this, and then the air shard can go just around it like so. And there we go. We have a fine air gem. We're going to go ahead and do this one at a time for all the different types of material until we have 1 each of the fine gems. Okay, all the gems have finished here. We have, I guess we got 3 pristines. Looks like the pristine is only a 5% chance, and we got it 3 times. I have a full container of the element on top of the binder, and I put them all in the correct order, and that should create the... Oh, there we go. Oh, so it must just take quite a while. The problem is there's no progress bar, so I'm not sure exactly how long these take. We now have all 4 of the pedestals ready to go. So we have to connect these pedestals to the containers using some improved piping like this, and then hook it in like so. I'm hoping that'll work. Earth pedestal, earth element. Let's get the water one out, and finally air. Now let's go ahead and put all of our crystals back down, and that is, I think, working. And that is draining a substantial amount of these elements. Wow, that's almost a full tank's worth there. And that's it. The pure crystal is done. Nice. Now what we do need is we need 2 of these per infused teleportation core. So we are going to need 6 total just for this alone. However, we are also going to need the fire-right ingot, which also requires 1. So we're going to need 7 of these total. These consumed a ton of the element charge. So I'm thinking we're going to probably have to go ahead and get some more of this going. And looks like we ran out. Let's go ahead and just pop these back in, and we're going to have to start recharging these fully up. We're going to need to then probably just AFK for a few minutes and let these guys fully charge up. But other than that, that's pretty much how we're going to go ahead and get all these pure crystals done. One thing we can do is just come in here and just kind of hit these with a bit of a speed up. We could probably even increase another layer or 2 of these stacked on top of each other. We do have enough shards. I don't think we're going to be limited on shards anytime soon, so that isn't my worry at all. We aren't getting any air shards because we don't have any... I think it's just spiders that provide the air shards. Yeah, so we're going to have to get some spiders in if we want more air shards, but we have 1,500. While I'm waiting for those to refill, I realized that we actually had like 80,000 netherrack sitting. So I'm compressing it all down, and I'm going to see if we have enough netherrack to hopefully get that final compressed block in for the dimensional seed. 1 5 times. Oh, so we're we're so close. We're like 1 4 times block away from getting a 5 times. So we're so close. But then we're also gonna need some soul sand. Originally, I was gonna use the nether essence to craft the soul sand, and you get 16 per with the fire essence in the middle. Upon further inspection, I realized that we can just go ahead and use create to bulk hunt a bunch of normal sand into soul sand. And this is actually a really easy system to set up. I'm gonna set it up right now to show you how easy it actually is. Let's grab a barrel just like this. The funnel is going to go into the barrel, importing from the barrel like so. So now we're going to have to take the smart chute, put it on top of the funnel, barrel on top of that. And we are going to want to be exporting into this barrel. And we're going to be exporting normal sand. So let's go ahead and just grab this filter. We can make this system a little bit smarter so it knows when to turn itself off. Actually, let's just put it right there. That should be fine. Let's put 30,000 in of soul sand. Once it's above that amount, we want it to turn this exporter off. Perfect. So now we need to start doing a little bit of haunting of sand. We can go ahead and light this on fire, and then we're going to want to put a fan facing inwards like that. Then we're going to go ahead and put a vertical gearbox and a water wheel like so. Perfect. So we can kind of just contain all that there. And then we're going to want to put a couple of trapdoors here just to contain the water, which we're going to place right there. If we look in here, we have 33,000 sand and 2,000 soul sand. That will then go ahead and use most of our sand to actually produce soul sand. All I should have to do is basically select this to export sand like so, and we should be good. Now, our importer very likely is going to have to be quite a bit faster. Let's go ahead and say an ultra importer might be the play. Oh, there, it just worked. Using encased fan to process materials. So I'm almost wondering if that funnel there was causing an issue. In the past versions, it hasn't been a problem to do it this way, but I guess in this case, it might be an actual issue. I think what I'm going to try and do is just do a little bit of rearranging of some of these pieces at the end here. And how I want to go about doing this is just by putting the barrel right here instead. And then what we can do is we can just hop up here and place the funnel, if I can get in here, right up against there like so. And there it is. Okay, so that is working better. I think that was potentially the problem. So I just want to make sure that this is going to start going up here as the sand starts to drop in quantity. We should start to see the soul sand start to climb quite rapidly. There we go. And that's what I want to see. Perfect. And so this should basically climb until, and this will be about the max entities that will ever be here because we're basically absorbing about as much as we're pumping out. This will basically climb till it gets to 30,000 and then turn itself off. And that's a nice compact little setup for soul sand. And we have one more block of 5 times netherrack, which means we get our 6 times block of netherrack right here. So we are all good for netherrack. We don't need this at all anymore. I just want to make sure I'm placing it right. I believe it goes like that. As for our other ingredients, we have 5 pure crystals, which we need 7 total. So we need 2 more. We need also all of these jewel of the piglins. So let's go ahead and see if we can make sure that we don't miss any of that stuff on the way. Oh, this requires pure crystals and totem of undying. How are we going to get totems of undying? So we're going to have to go and find an evoker. As for this, we need a fine fire jewel and some more material here, which I think is easy enough to make. And then finally the jewel of the phoenix, which requires another pure crystal. So we actually need 9. And then for the philosophers, we need 1 for this. So we need 10 total. So I actually miscounted. We're going to need quite a few more of these, 4 more to be exact. But we're also going to have to go find an evoker. What I'm looking for is a pillager outpost, because if I can find a pillager outpost, then I can go ahead and hopefully kill one of the raid captains that will let me start a raid, and then I can capture an evoker. Oh, I came across this purple village here that's like a pillager camp, it looks like. This might actually be what we need. I don't see any of the guys with the banners, though. Yep, unfortunately, it appears that we are not in any luck here. There is no way to start a raid or anything, so... Now, I do have one last thing I can try. What I can do is I think I'm going to be able to get a spawner out. Let's get a spawner out. That's like a decent one. And a soul lantern to ignore light. So if we put this spawner down here, right here, and we get a pillager spawn egg. Will these guys ever spawn with the raid captain banner is what I really care about. Oh, they did. They did. He just spawned with a raid. Okay. Perfect. Let's turn this off, and we have to start a raid in a village. So now, what's the nearest village? It's probably back over here. Yep, a raid is starting. Perfect. That's what we're after. All right, where did these guys spawn? Okay, that is super annoying. All right, there's some witches in this round. Oh, there is an evoker right there. Okay. We got to grab this guy. Yep, perfect. Got him. Now all we have to do is defend the village, beat the raid, and we are all set to go back to base. I think we may have even gotten enough totems just from that fight. I think we just needed 4. So we didn't even really need to grab them in the imprisonment tool. Man, they're setting fireworks off. They're making it a party. Well, thanks everybody. I appreciate it. We'll have to finish up some of the crafting in the next episode, and then hopefully we can get some of those last items for the star, and then we can move on into the last couple mods after we finish with ElementalCraft. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to join the Discord. The Discord is the best place to keep up to date on everything that's going on the channel. But again, thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you all have a good one. Bye.